So here's the dilemma. I know I see a lot of these eBay sucks, PayPal sucks, videos all over YouTube, and I know they suck, and they just stoop to the lowest level of which I thought they could ever do. Listen to this story and tell me that this isn't maybe one of the worst PayPal stories you've ever heard. Alright. About 3 weeks ago, gold got to its highest peak in a while. So I had about 291 grams of gold that I was gonna sell. That's the equivalent to about $10,000 if you give it the full value of gold. But you're not gonna get that. You know, that's at what it sells. So I went ahead and I listed my item on eBay for 291 grams of gold, and the auction was won by a guy who specifically buys gold. I checked like all 9,000 of his feedback, and all his feedback was gold transactions. The guy pays through PayPal. I was trying to tell him not to pay through PayPal. You know, it was a very high amount. The gold sold for $7,000. All right, so I already know how this works. I try to do everything by the book, so eBay and PayPal don't give me the bullshit I know they will. So as soon as he paid, I immediately shipped off his item overnight. You know, I paid that little $28, FedEx to overnight it. I also made sure that the signature was on there. Alright, so he gets the item, and in a timely manner, he calls me and says, I reviewed the gold. Some of the gold was filled, and the ounce weight was off a little bit. So I was like, alright, what do you request? He's like, he requests an $880 refund. I'm like, okay, $880, alright, that makes sense. So I went into PayPal, and I refunded him $880 for his for that transaction. 2 days later, PayPal limits my account permanently. It said we need more information about something. This limitation cannot be appealed. The hell do you need more information for if you if it can't be appealed? Like, what the fuck? What do you want? Like, after it can't be appealed, what else do you need? You know what I'm saying? So mind you, they limited my account off a separate transaction for $321, which makes no sense. That guy got his he filed a claim saying that he didn't get his item or whatever, and the next day he received it and closed the case, but my account was already limited, so I'm screwed now. So I call PayPal and I speak to a supervisor. Okay, if anybody's having problems, like, and you need to, there's a loophole. Alright, PayPal consists of maybe 3 to 4 different agents. You got your first agent, that's your lowest, that's the one who handles like passwords and little random shit like questions and stuff like that. The second one is a specialist. The specialist is like a limitation specialist, accounting specialist. Those are the assholes, because those are the ones that try to get you off the phone the quickest. I figured out, I've been dealing with this shit for so long. I figured it out. If you get to a specialist, tell them you want to speak to a supervisor. The supervisor can make more decisions. Alright? So when you get to a specialist, don't even talk to them. Don't. They can say, can we help you with? No, you can't help me with anything. Just, I want to speak to a supervisor. Those are the ones that can make immediate decisions and do everything from their computer. Another thing. Okay.
What is the point of the automated woman in the beginning asking you for your account number, phone number, and all that shit if everybody you speak to after you is gonna ask the exact same fucking question? It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, getting back, don't speak to a limitation specialist. Ask to speak directly to a supervisor. Alright, so I ended up speaking to a supervisor. I explained to my situation that, the item was shipped off overnight. It was signed for, and the guy left positive feedback. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to call the buyer and make sure everything was fine. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes it even better. So supervisor puts me on hold, calls the buyer who purchased my gold, comes back and he says, okay, it seems that everything's fine, and
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna release your funds early. So when I log in, it says your account has been limited for more than 180 days. You now have the ability to withdraw. He says you can go ahead and withdraw. Alright, I'm thinking it's over. I'm like, good. I get my money and I'm done with PayPal. So I go to the withdraw tab, withdraw my money. I get that email that says your withdrawal request is going to be will take 3 to 4 days. I'm like, cool. So the next day, something tells me just to check my account to make sure everything's cool. So I log into PayPal, and boom, like my money is still in there. And I look down there on the transaction thing, it says reversed. So I'm like, that's weird. And next thing you know, I got called again, speak to a supervisor, because limitation specialists just try to get you off the phone the quickest. They'll also tell you that a supervisor we can't. It's not our policy to transfer you. That we're gonna have somebody call you back. That's bullshit. If you just put a lot of pressure on them, they'll transfer you. All right, so I speak to a second a supervisor, and I tell him that he lifted my withdrawal limit, but it got reversed back. He goes, oh, okay, it seems he didn't lift one of the flags. I'll go ahead and lift that right now. Lifted it right now. I withdrew the money, and it was going to my bank account. I fucked up. When I put my bank account down, I put my wrong routing number. So the funds were, when it got to my bank didn't recognize it or whatever, even though my name's on their account and everything. So they reversed it back to PayPal. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just get my right routing number and I'll withdraw it again. When I tried to withdraw it, it kept reversing back into the account. Like it'll show that I withdrew it, but then like 30 minutes later it'll reverse back into the account. I called somebody else, and I called another supervisor, and the supervisor called me back and said, alright, I figured out what the problem was. You should be able to withdraw now, and you can just go ahead and hit your withdraw tab and withdraw to your bank account. I did so, and a day later it was back in my account, and this time you have the ability to, your account's been limited for 180 days, it just went away. So I call again, and I speak to a supervisor, and the supervisor tells me that the original supervisor who allowed my funds to be released should not have let my funds be released. And I was like, oh well, that's y'all bad, send me my money, because it would have been we wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't fuck up and put the wrong routing number. She goes, sir, we can't do that. Your funds have to sit here for 180 days. It's just too high risk. High risk? Okay, I shipped it overnight. I got a signature on the package. The buyer left positive feedback. You guys spoke to the buyer. Where's the fucking risk? Where's the risk? Not to mention this is a business guy who does nothing but buy gold. She goes, I know, sir, but this is an executive decision, and we can't do anything about it. So I argued about this with her for an hour, and I started to give in and just go, well, this is just going to be 180 days. And I thought to myself, no, it doesn't. So I contacted the original guy who bought the gold, and I told him my situation. I asked him, if I refund this money to you, could you cut me a check or send me a wire transfer? He replied back. He says, sure, but I'm gonna have to you're gonna have to pay for the shipping. I'm like, no problem. Matter of fact, I'll give you $100 just for wasting your time, because PayPal's wasting mine. He goes, okay, cool. All right, I'll start doing the refund process now. I get on PayPal and I try to refund this guy, and it doesn't give me the option to. So now I have to wait on hold for another 45 minutes just to get somebody to refund this guy his money. When I get on the phone with them, I say, I would like to refund the guy the remainder of the amount in the account. And this is where it gets ridiculous. They put me on hold and they come back and says, we can't issue a refund because you already issued him an $880 refund before. Alright, so you're telling me that I can't refund him anymore. Like, I can only refund him once. So if he wants his money back and my feedback's on the line, what am I gonna tell him? Oh, PayPal won't let me refund you? How the fuck does that sound? You know what I'm saying? So Now they're telling me I can't refund them. So now I got fucked one way by not being able to